Hello, everybody. My name is Lily, and I am femme, trans, and noir, which means I am a black trans woman, baby. Welcome to my bi-monthly podcast. I think there was another word for that. Whatever. I'm here every other Sunday, so this is the Sunday today. Today, I want to approach a topic that's quite sensitive to a lot of people. I'm talking about kids, having kids or not having them. Stay tuned. Before we get into this, though, I'm gonna give you, a couple of updates. It's gonna be real quick, I promise. Yesterday we had a gas leak. Mm, yeah, and the house didn't explode. That's a good thing, but it could have. Mm. So right now there's no heat, and I'm just gonna have to deal for I don't know how many days. So, yay! Also, I am now on TikTok. Like, I think right after my other podcast 2 weeks ago, I was like, you know what? Let me go on TikTok. Like, I had a short video and I was like, yeah, let me just put it on there. And then I did another one like real quick. Like my mother was getting into the kitchen and I was like, let me take like 15 seconds and do this video. And it sort of went viral and the transphobes came for me. It was an anti-hate video, but they still got it banned. But anyway, I learn, I learn, and I will get my revenge. I will get them. But if you want to join me there, I'm FTN Pod pretty much everywhere. So you go to TikTok and FTN Pod, you'll find me. And you know what? I'm gonna stop here with the updates because the month is just not great. It's, it's just not that great, and I want it to be over already. I don't know. Anyway, I hope y'all are doing great. Let me know. Actually, yes, please do let me know. I do get a couple of messages here and there, but it's not enough. Like I want to hear from y'all. Um, and I know it's slow and steady, right? Is it slow and steady wins the race or something like that? Um, like we're building the rapport, we are connecting slowly to each other. Um, and that's fine. But I still want to hear I still want to hear a little more. I do. So yeah, let me know. Send me a couple of messages. Um, don't send me any kind of eggplant picture, if you know what I mean. Because those get reported and blocked. That is not cute. I don't even know like why somebody would find that cute or interesting. Ugh. I mean, other than that, message me. If you're a sister, message me. I want to hear about you. I want to know what your concern your I want to know what your concerns are and what you want to talk about. All right, let's move on. Oh, hey, hey. Psst. Yeah. Did you know that this show is sponsored by me and my Patreon? Yes, yes, baby. If you don't know, Patreon is a space where you can support creators um, with monthly donations. And for me, it starts at $2 a month. Just $2, baby. Um, yeah, just $2 for me is a bottle of water. You can, upgrade and get me a cup of tea, or you can get me, I don't know, like a bottle of rosé. That's a little more exclusive, but it's possible. But what's in it for you, right? Well, the first thing is you support me. Um, you get the satisfaction of being part of my community in that way, right? Um, you really making it possible for me to do this without having to worry too much, right? That's the number one thing. And I know that's still like for me, not really for you, but yeah, I mean, a little bit. But you get a little more access, right? You get to vote on topics. Um, and depending on the level, like you're gonna have to go and see, like, check out, girl, oh boy, or they thems, sis, bro, um, sibling. Go check out my Patreon account. So it's patreon.com/FTN pod. And you'll see the different tiers and what every tier, gives you access to. So yeah, go ahead. And like I said, $2 a month. That's where it starts. Thank you so much. So about the topic. Um, on International Women's Day of all days, I was having a discussion with my good friend Bidemi and other women, and the title was "What Makes You a Woman?" So I was expecting all the transphobes to show up, and I was ready. I was ready, but they didn't show up. Strangely enough, instead, some trans women were attracted to the conversation. Not just trans women, cis women as well. Um, and it was a really good conversation. Um, it got quite vulnerable. One of the women, a cis woman who was already a mother of two, shared her experience with reproductive health and the difficulties of getting pregnant again and how that affected her. Um, that was powerful because it was, it felt like a universal experience, like an experience of womanhood. And I know I personally um, connected with the story, and and I know at least another trans woman who was present there could connect with the story. So that was fascinating just to see the ways in which we experience womanhood in our little, in our little corners of the world, in our little own personal spaces, without talking about it, and yet experience the same feelings. And when we finally do talk about, all of that stuff, we realize that, hey, like, I'm not crazy. Um, I'm not alone. And other women, cis or trans, also go through these feelings. We may not all have, we may not all experience the same things, like because our biology is different, right? So we're not going through the same things physically. So it's not exactly the same story, but it's the way we feel about those stories. It's the way we feel about ourselves that is just so close. When we talk about womanhood, um, transphobes like to pretend or talk about us as if we were not aware of the reality of our own biology as trans women. Um, so you get the typical argument is you're not a woman, you can't have a period. You're not a woman, you can't carry a baby. and you don't have a, a, a uterus, all that stuff, all that biological stuff that is so reductive. And because they do reduce women to their biological quote unquote purpose, because that's what they believe a woman is for. Um, and not only is it stupid, I mean, I find it stupid, but they do exclude a whole lot of women from womanhood at that point. Like, it's not uncommon to hear a woman talk about the challenges she faces in her journey um, as a new mother, or someone who desires to become a parent. Um, it's not rare. So the bioessentialist definition of woman does not make room for them, because people want to be transphobic so hard they will, you know, hurt other people in the process gladly. And because it's a gotcha thing where people are trying to just be hurtful, um, sometimes they're like, yeah, but I can have a kid. You can't. Haha. And sometimes it's like, bitch, like, I'm not interested. I'm not really interested um, in that experience. And not all women are interested in that experience. That is not true. Do I want to tell y'all about my experience? Let's do it. At first, um, I made peace with the idea of not having kids. I was quite young when I decided, um, it's not for me. It's not in the cards for me. And then I partnered, um, and it's something we discussed, and suddenly became a possibility. And I was like, it would be kind of nice. It would be, um, yeah, it would be something I want to experience. To experience. I remember at night, like watching my partner sleep and be like, like this belly of mine is like wasted space. It's it's so sad that I can't have a kid with this man. Like, he and I are doing good. Um, we like the vibe is nice, and we're in the good age bracket, right? Um, we should be thinking about this. Like, other people would be thinking about that. And I was like, damn, this empty space, useless space, like wasteland is here, like taking up space but being empty, right? And that was a strange feeling, because it's not like, I want to say, it's not like I was completely like depressed about it. The hardest part was the frustration, the inability to do anything about it. Yeah, that was tough. And it went away quite quickly. Um, for something that heavy, I mean, um, I don't think it lasted a year. Um, like, it did not like torment me. Um, not not that way, not that specific way. Um, there's something else, but I'm gonna have to reserve that, you know, for later, maybe for patrons, because I don't necessarily want to have things out there forever, just like that in the open. So I'm gonna reserve some of that for a chat with the patrons. But yeah, it is a frustration that I have experienced. And what I heard from other trans women who also wanted to become mothers is this feeling of having a of harboring a wasteland inside of them. That feeling is familiar. When I had that thought, I was like, girl, you're crazy. It, it's not making sense. But and then hearing someone else say it too, like, oh, okay. So if I felt it, if you felt it, I'm sure like plenty other girls did. And we're just not talking about that. We're just not having those conversations. And we should be having those conversations. I think that would be very interesting because no one should actually um, be sitting in that on their own. Yeah, we should actually have these discussions. And I'm open to that. If y'all want to do this, let's do it. So that feeling of, an empty womb, a useless womb, no womb, um, I think is related to a certain perception of what womanhood is. And yeah, the expectations around womanhood. That means um, producing, carrying, giving life, giving birth, etc. And that is very bioessentialist. So that feeling I had of, that useless space, whatever, um, it went away. But the feeling, the desire to become a mother, that sort of stayed. And when I say sort of, I mean it did stay. And up to right now, sometimes I still think about it. And like I don't necessarily need to have a kid that is quote unquote my blood, that comes from me that I've carried or whatever, because it sounds ridiculous to me today. Not because I'm a trans woman, but because um, like the necessity to like carry your genes or whatever. It's it it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where I am. I have to be honest. I don't know where I stand on that topic. But the ridiculous part is the necessity to be the one carrying and this idea of producing life and the divine feminine and all that stuff. Not that I don't believe in that's another story, y'all. It's a completely other story, but it's the bioessentialism that is an issue to me, and that is ridiculous. So I have found myself in years past um, looking into adoption and even surrogacy. I've thought about like all sorts of things, and yeah, it just hasn't happened. But that feeling is there, right? Um, it's still there somewhere. And here is what I found. Because to me, I need to live, I need to exist in reality and not in perhaps and maybes and like I don't it's not for me. That's not for me. If something is not possible, then I need to push it out of my mind, push it out of my life. If it's because if there is still a possibility, then I will do everything I can within reason, of course, but I will do anything I can to um, get to that thing that is possible. So I'd rather just push it away. So what I've done is this is a vulnerable moment, and I really don't want to tell y'all my business, but I will tell y'all a little bit of my business. Do you know these AI portraits things where you would enter your picture and your partner's picture, and then they generate a picture of what your kids could be looking like? I did that, and I got a couple of pictures of children who are my babies and who are just no longer in this world. That's that's the way I treat these. And sometimes I look at them, and like some parents do when they've lost a child, and they imagine, oh, what would they be doing? What would they look like? Would they be going to college? Um, do we would we be fighting about who um, will, I don't know, do the dishes, whatever. Um, so sometimes I do that, and that actually helps um, accept the fact that, hey, no, there is no adoption, there is no surrogacy, there is none of that stuff. It's not happening. So, yeah, that's to anyone who would like to try that, I would absolutely recommend it. But I insist, it's really a way of not replacing a kid, because I mean, I still have my mind, right? I'm still sane. It's a way of accepting that there is no kid and that is not going to happen. And that's what I choose to do. You don't have to do that. If you find that it's morbid or simply discouraging, like, no, you want to still dream and still um, hope that one day you will have children of your own, then do not do it. Um, do what works for you. This is what works for me because I choose to accept um, that this is not going to happen. You know what? I have to be honest about something else too. Sometimes I'm glad that I don't have kids. Yeah, I really am. Um, you know how, well, I'll talk about me. I'm glad that I'm trans because it gave me an experience that I could not have had any other way. Like the way I approach gender and some social issues. Like if I had been born like in the same place in the Caribbean, in the same family, I would have had some type of education in on certain social issues, but definitely not about transness and gender and feminism. Not that way. Definitely not that way. Um, See how I can enjoy that, even though um, being trans is not easy, even though it comes with dangers, etc. Like like just that way. I'm also glad sometimes that I don't have children because I've thought many times about, okay, what does that mean for a kid? And how Like, am I making things easier for them? Am I, how am I helping them? I'm pretty sure that just as I benefited from my transness, they could benefit too, because I would be then giving them some information. I would be educating them and giving them new perspectives. Well, new compared to maybe their classmates or whatever. Um, that may help them, but also, being the son or the daughter of the trans woman over there, like, does that really? I don't know. I don't know. And I know that this is leading us straight into respectability politics and desirability politics too. Like, can I be stealth? Um, like, that comes also into consideration. Um, like, am I the right kind of trans person? Like, am I not too visible? And am I desirable? Like, all of that stuff, right? That comes into play. But then also, now I am more mature, and it feels nice to be able to up and leave, right? And be like, you know what? Let me be a grown ass teenager. Let me be a grown ass adolescent. And and if I have a little bit of coin, like, let me go somewhere for a weekend and not worry about kids. Like, sometimes worrying about a man is already too much. So yeah, sometimes I'm like, I don't even want a dog because I can't just go if I have a dog. I can't just leave them. Like, somebody has to take care of them. I don't know. This is a completely different level of the discussion. And but it does count as well. It does. It simply does. Okay, so you already know. I don't want to ramble. I do a lot of talking. And it's late. I am tired. I did not sleep that much last night. And I have to be up early again tomorrow. Mm. And I'm going to have to edit this and post it. I know I chose this, so I'm not complaining. But yeah, I have also like other things to do, and um, I do have to go and take care of them. Yeah, I want to know. I want to know what. Well, first, do you have kids? Do you have them? Because I also know a trans woman who had a child um, in her teens, so she is a parent, um, and that's a completely different story as well. So, do you have kids? Would you like to have kids? How do you feel about the topic? Do you want to make it happen? Do you perhaps want to push that out of your mind? And how do you, if that is something you want and you feel that is not, possible, how do you deal with that? How do you hold that? How do you hold yourself? And yeah, what are your methods to cope? I would love to know. Um, if you wanna, talk about it anonymously, message me, DM me. You don't have to post comments publicly. You can DM me, and let's have this conversation. Because again, no one should have to hold that alone. So we have come to the end of this fourth, I believe, episode of the Femme Trans Noire or FTN podcast. And I'm really glad you were here. I really want to continue this conversation in my mailbox. Um, Email me at contact@ftnpod.com, or you can join me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok now. Hey, at FTN Pod, the same everywhere. And join my Patreon where you can support me. Like, all donations are welcome. You can do one-time donation by going to the website. That's ftnpod.com. And you have a donate button at the top. And you can either like subscribe on Patreon or make a one-time donation. Everything is welcome. Everything is appreciated. Everything is respected. So yeah, get in touch with me and let's continue. I'll see you on the socials. I was gonna say I'll see you in 2 weeks, but no, 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 no. I'll see you on the socials. I'm trying to be active there. See y'all soon. Bye bye.